Hello there, my dear friends, and welcome to Rainbow Card Series video number 4. With this one, my focus is just a single shape, but instead of die cutting it, I am doing stamping. So I pulled out a bunch of my mini cubes because I'm liking that right now. And I just pulled out colors that resemble the color of the rainbow. I know that they are a little bit of a variance of like the actual tone. Like this one is more peach rather than orange, but I kind of like the variance of it. And so I am just going to stamp. This is actually a banner piece, this rectangle that I'm stamping, but I like the simple, well, it's not really simple because it has dots in it, but it's just, it's not a very complicated look to it. And I think that's my tip for you if you're stamping just a single shape is make it not too complicated because you are stamping it in different colors, and so make sure that it's a simple basic design and shape that it'll be nice to replicate or to stamp over and over again. So as you can see, I have a scallop rectangle piece as my base, and I wanted these rectangles, sorry, not rectangles, triangles, to stay contained within that space after, or within that stitched space. So I have this piece of scrap paper that I am putting right onto the edge of that stitched area so that I can make sure that it is not going over that piece. So now that I filled that in, as you can see, I wasn't really planning on where to position the triangles, and so there's a space on the bottom right, but I'm not too worried about that because I will be covering that up with a sentiment. And so I had pulled this particular sentiment stamp set, there's 4 in it, and I pulled that out in the beginning of planning this particular series. And so what I did was I grabbed all 4 and just used a scrap of white cardstock and stamped and heat embossed all of them all at the same time. I didn't know when I stamped them which one I was going to use in which card, but it's always good to have sentiments on hand already. So that's another tip. If you have just sentiments, if you have a stamp that has just sentiments, why don't you just stamp all of them at once, and then once you are done with that, then you can just pick and choose which one you want for when you are ready to use them. So I'm going to go with the sentiment, let's celebrate. This can go for birthday or for whatever kind of celebration type that I can give to, or whatever celebrating the recipient of the card will have. And I'm putting the scallop rectangle piece onto a craft cardstock base, and I did mat that sentiment strip onto blue cardstock just because I feel like white on white will not make it stand out, so I have to mat that. And then I am also, to make it stand out even more, I am going to add some fun foam to the back of it so that it will be added, it will be raised onto my card. And so right now this card is done, but I decided that it just needed a little bit of something. And I have this balloon tiny punch that I got at Goodwill, and I decided to pull out one of my glittered cardstock. And I actually, this is a 12-inch piece because I didn't have a small one from my scrap stash, and so I pulled out a full 12 by 12, but it's okay, I will use that another time. And I'm just using some mini glue dots to adhere those tiny balloons onto my layout. At first I thought that I will have them all a bunch on the top center of my card, but I felt like no, maybe one will be kind of closer to the sentiment, and so I'm going to add that mostly to the right of the card. And I will grab my pen so I can have some strings going from the balloon just going down the card. And that's basically my first card for this particular video. I hope that you guys are liking my rainbow series. This will be my last series of the year, and I hope that you have enjoyed all of the series that I have put together for 2020. If you have any ideas that you would like me to tackle in 2021, make sure that you leave that in the comment section below, and I will read and look into that, because sometimes I need some different ideas for what to do next. So I was digging that idea of one particular shape and then making multiples of it using ink pads or stamping, that I decided to grab my balloon stencil. This is a mini stencil from Simon Says Stamps, and it has 3 different balloon shapes, and so I decided to use that as a stencil to create my balloons. And I really like how this turned out. The blending, or the brush type of technique, makes it really subtle. Now in my mind, I was only going to do 3 because that's the only, like, that's just how many it will fit in this card without making it too busy. And so I am going to start with 3, and again, I am putting some pen lines just so that it will have some string. And I decided to go with the happy birthday heat embossed sentiment here because the balloons just kind of scream birthday to me. And I will add that again onto the blue scrap cardstock just to make that stand out. And again, I'm going to add some fun foam to the back of that to make it stand out even more. And I'm starting to lose my voice. This is my my 4th video that I am doing a voiceover for in one sitting, and so I'm kind of doing a lot of talking this morning. But anyways, so here is that sentiment already, and for the blending of the balloons, I just used the same inks that I used for my stamping because they were already on my table, and I used my blending brush that I purchased on Amazon. I'll try to remember to link that in the description box below if you wanted to check that out. So again, this card is going to go on a craft card base just because I thought that that white would look good onto a craft. And at this point, I thought that I was done, but it just felt a little too simple for my eyes. And this is when I actually pull that stencil back and then decided to add some more colors. Now, as you can see, I had a yellow, a green, and a purple, and I am missing a peach or an orange, a red, and a blue. So I am actually not going to use the peach or orangey tone here. Instead, I'm just going to use the red and the blue. And I thought that that was really, I like this better, adding the 2 colors there. And I also like how the blue and the red are a little bit more bold as far as the colors are concerned. And then the green and the purple, green and the yellow are lighter shades. So I like that they kind of complement the ones that are close together. And as you can see, I'm not even masking the colors, so there will be a little bit of overlapping with the colors. And I think that's one of the reasons why I opted not to add the orange, is because the red and the yellow already has some orange in there. So there you have it. Those are my 2 cards using just a single shape and using just some ink pads. I hope that you guys like this video. If you do, please consider subscribing and giving me a thumbs up, and also hitting that bell button so that YouTube will let you know when I have my next video. Until then, I will catch you guys another day. Bye.